we're going to talk a little bit now about President Trump and how I think that a lot of my friends in Hollywood are missing the point really badly. And the reason they're missing it is because they don't understand professional wrestling. And I'm going to explain it right now. But before I get started, I do want to say to all my friends and colleagues out in Hollywood right now, I want you to understand something. Everything that you are feeling right now, all this fear and this outrage, and that you feel like the country's being destroyed by a madman and the country has elected this awful, crazy person, that feeling of, we got to stop this, we have to resist, I want you to know something. We on the right felt exactly that way for the last 8 years. And furthermore, we didn't just feel it. It wasn't about feelings or emotions. It wasn't about the race of the president or any of that other stuff you tell yourselves. It was because we disagreed 180 degrees with Obama's and the left's policies. We knew where they were leading the country because we'd studied history. We've seen the effects of the left's policies in places like Venezuela and Cuba, every other leftist hellhole on the face of the earth, and we did not want America to go there. So stop taking this ridiculous, masochistic comfort in some idea that you care about the country more than we do. You don't. And the fact is, as far as I'm concerned, you don't understand the idea of the country as well as we do, and therefore you cannot care more than us. You haven't even bothered to understand the Founding Fathers, the documents that they wrote that created the country. So give us a break. You're not morally superior to us because of your politics. You don't care more about the poor than we do because you want the government to take other people's money and dole it out to people so that you don't have to get your hands dirty and you can still think that you're being charitable. Now, but also, for the last 8 years, we not only felt like the country is being turned towards a socialist hellhole, we didn't see anybody standing up to it. Now, we saw a lot of people in the GOP campaigning on one thing, like repealing Obamacare and stopping the appointment of these leftist judges and opening up access to our natural resources and so on. But then once they were elected, they would just get steamrolled by the Democrats. You see, this is where professional wrestling comes in. And you're going to have to know a little bit of history about it. For years, the GOP has been functioning like the old-fashioned good guy or the babyface wrestlers. That's the terminology, babyface. Remember that. The babyface would always get cheated by the heels, who in this case were the Democrats, and they would never cheat back. They would always lose. They'd get hit by the foreign object, or the masked bad guys would kick the hero in the head with a loaded boot, or Gorgeous George. It goes all the way back that far. Gorgeous George his valet would spray for perfume in the guy's eyes, and they would lose. But in their mind, they were playing fair, and they were losing with integrity. And that was the important thing. That was the lesson for the audience. And see, wrestling went on like that for years, because wrestling has always been about making the audience hate the bad guy. That's what makes marks. Those are what wrestling fans are called, marks. That's what makes them buy tickets. The bad guy makes the audience so furious that they're willing to spend some money to see somebody kick that guy's ass, or even pretend to kick his ass. And this went on for years. See, the good guys would never cheat until Hulk Hogan. And Hulk Hogan redefined the babyface role because he was the first wrestler who would pick up the foreign object, he would pick up the steel chair, and he would hit the heel back with it. He started fighting like the heel fought. And the audience, they went crazy. They'd been waiting for this for years. And this made Hulk Hogan the greatest wrestler on earth for a number of years. This is why WrestleMania came around. And it also spawned the Attitude Era, which is the most profitable time in WWE history, where you really could not tell the difference between the heels and the faces. The faces became the heels. So for years, the Democrats have had all these awful heel wrestlers, like Stretch Nancy Pelosi, and Macho Man Harry Reid, and Chuck Fake Tears Schumer, and they did all these dirty, underhanded things. They throw out the filibuster when it suits them, and they ram the health care bill down everybody's throat with reconciliation. They just change the rules to suit themselves when they had the votes to do it. And then when the audience starts roaring for the babyface to hit back, when the GOP finally gets the steel chair or the brass knuckles out of Al the Animal Franken's hands, instead of hitting him back, they just put the steel chair down and they say, we have to be better than that. We have to preserve the traditions of the Senate. Would not be fair to our esteemed colleagues on the other side of the aisle, or some sort of loser stuff like that. And so the GOP would get pinned again, and the audience goes home empty. Same thing happened with McCain. Same thing happened with Romney. They refused to fight back. You know, Obama and Candy Crowley double teaming Romney in the corner for the last two debates. He won't fight back. And then all of a sudden, here comes this guy Trump. And this guy Trump doesn't pick up the chair and fight back. He comes in the ring with the chair. He leads with the chair. And he starts clocking people before the bell even rings. He's plowing through the primaries. He's whacking people. He's calling them Little Marco, whack. Lion Ted, whack. Carly Fiorina, look at that face, whack. And half the audience just erupts. They're in cheers going, finally, this guy is fighting back. And that's what you don't understand. Trump will pick up the steel chair. Trump is a throwback to the Attitude Era, and this is why Trump won the Republican primary. The middle of the country is sick to death of seeing the 1950 babyface GOP lay down and get pinned. We want to see the guy fight the heels the same way the heels fight them. So that's what's going on here. When we get back, I'm going to show you even more about exactly why Trump is our first ever heel president. As I left off there, this is just what's going on here. Trump is the first ever heel president of the United States. He comes out to boos and cheers. Half the crowd loves him. The other half hates his guts. They're screaming for his blood. But the point is, all eyes are on Trump the whole time. The audience is riveted, and that's why he's so successful. And that also is why my friends in Hollywood out there on the left are losing it. And part of it is because deep down, you feel guilty because you know that you started it. You know that you started fighting dirty this way. And the reason you're insane with rage and you're screaming, oh, he's insane, or he's unhinged, or he can't be trusted, or he's not competent, he's unfit for the office. The reason you're acting that way is because Trump is simply fighting you Democrat heels back the way you have been fighting us for all these many years. And the shoe's on the other foot now, guys. You're getting hit with the loaded boot. You're getting hit with the foreign object. You're getting hit with the steel chair behind the referee's back. You're being called fat and ugly for a change, and you guys could dish it out, but you just can't take it. Now, I want to play you a couple of clips just to show you exactly what I'm talking about. Even before Trump was inaugurated, this is perhaps my favorite clip of heel Trump from the whole year. This is from, I think, somewhere in January 2018. It's the famous fake news dust-up. Let me have it.
Since you're attacking us, can you give us a question? Mr. President-elect.
Go ahead.
Mr. President-elect, since you are attacking our news organization, can you give us a chance?
Your organization
You are attacking our news organization. Can you give us a chance to ask a question, sir?
Go ahead.
Sir, can you state, Mr. President-elect,
go ahead.
can you state
She's asking
categorically,
a question.
Mr. President-elect, can you give us a question?
Don't be
You're
rude.
attacking us. Can you give us a question?
Don't be rude.
Can you give us a question?
I'm not going to give you a question.
Can you state categorically?
You are fake news.
Sir,
go ahead.
Can you state categorically that nobody... No, Mr. President-elect, that's not appropriate.
Don't be rude. Don't be rude. Don't be rude. That's my favorite. Now look, that is classic heel stuff. That is how a heel functions. And I want to show you maybe the greatest wrestling heel of all time was Ric Flair. And if you put Ric Flair and Trump side by side, like I'm about to do, I don't know if you're going to be able to tell who's who. Roll it.
I'm really rich. I'll show you that in a second.
When last year I spent more money on spilled liquor in bars from one side of this world to the other than you made.
They love me. I've got the largest bank in the world.
Wearing diamond ring, wearing kiss stealing, wheeling dealing.
I understand stakes. It's my favorite food, and these are the best.
Girls all around the world keep asking me the same question. They all want to know. They all want to know. And my cousin Arnie's the one that put this across. They all want to know what's causing all this.
The thing they most want, you know what? One of the top 10 things? Anything Trump.
I'm telling you, he's the perfect heel wrestler. He's Ric Flair. He's Nature Boy Donald Trump. But the other thing about Ric Flair that Donald Trump is actually doing, the other thing about being a successful heel wrestler is that you have got to deliver in the ring. Ric Flair always had the best matches. He was always the most entertaining, and he usually won. He got what he was going after, and that's what Trump's been doing. He's just been winning over and over and over again, and that's what made you guys so crazy over this tax package. This tax cut package that Trump just got passed. To you guys on the left, this was like a loser leaves town match or a hair versus hair match, which Donald Trump actually won a hair versus hair match at WrestleMania 25 against Vince McMahon. You just thought this was at the end all or be all, and this was your chance to put down the heel once and for all and stop his reign of terror. But of course, the heel won. Trump won. He got his tax cut package in, and he goes on tweeting, which drives you marks on the left crazy, and you start screaming again that he's unfit and he's deranged, and he gets the largest tax cut in 30 years past. He opens Anwar for drilling. He gets rid of the Obamacare mandate, signs an order canceling 2 regulations for every one new one, gets the economy ready to roar again, and then he goes down to a rally in Florida or Georgia somewhere in front of 30,000 screaming fans, and he holds the belt up over his head and he screams, "I am still the champ," just like the Nature Boy Ric Flair, and it makes you guys crazy with rage, and it makes me laugh hysterically because, see, I'm a student with an understanding of professional wrestling showmanship, and I know what Trump is doing.